We begin with the first question in the electronic part. It is real world problems on circles. It's from the module 5.1. Here we have wheels. Zach is designing wheels for a concept car. A concept car is like a, imaginary, not imaginary, a stylish new future car or something like that. The diameter of the wheel is 18 inches. Zach wants to make spokes in the wheel that runs from the center of the wheel to the rim. In other words, each spoke is a radius of the wheel. How long are these spokes? If you're thinking about spokes, you might have seen wheels. You will have the center, the rims over here. There'll be lines, right? That is generally called the spokes, okay? Especially in bicycles, you might see in the wheel, you might have these spokes. So that is the situation. They have given us the diameter. They just want the radius. See, in other words, each spoke is a radius of the wheel. What is radius equal to if you know the diameter? It has half of the diameter, right? And since it's the electronic part, you just put this in the calculator. It's done. 18 by 2, that is 9 inches is the answer. So whichever option has 9 inches, you just select that. Very simple and easy. Here we have Katie slices through a circular cake. The cake has a diameter of 14 inches and the slice that Katie makes is a straight and has a length of 11 inches. Okay, I was thinking we had to find the radius or something, but no, over here they have told a circular cake and Katie has like cut into 11 inches. Did Katie cut along a radius? Okay, it's cut along. Is it the radius, the diameter, or a chord? Say, look, if it was the center this much, it will be 7. Isn't it? The radius is 7, diameter is 14. But it's 11 inches, it should be a chord. It's not the radius or the diameter, it must be the chord of the circle. Because it's not the radius, it's more than the radius and less than the diameter. So that's the answer. 3 identical circular coins are lined up in a row as shown over here. The distance between the centers of the first and the third coin is 3.2. What is the radius of these? Now look over here, they have mentioned it's the center, somewhere over here, centers, okay? What is from the center to the end of the circle? It's the radius. Here also we have the radius. What about this? This is the diameter, or we can tell it's 2 times the radius. So if we add them up, radius plus 2 times the radius plus radius is equal to 3.2. We can just solve this up. We will get the answer. 4 times radius is 3.2. R is equal to 3.2 by 4. 32 by 4 is 8. So it will be 0.8 centimeters. Now, since it's electronic, I'll just solve this directly in the calculator and get this answer. Here is 0.8 by solving. But how do we get it in calculator? Let's take our calculators here. Now we have to solve radius plus 2 times radius plus radius. But the variable which we give in the calculator is only x. You need to press alpha and x. Plus 2 times r, that is alpha x, plus again x, that is equal to, it is 3.2. Shift and solve. This is not the answer. Solve for x. Now press equal to. This is the answer. It's 0.8 centimeters. That's it. Now here what do we have is Taiga wants to make a circular hoop that he can swirl around his body for exercise. Okay, you know those hula hoops. Basically, you spin them around your waist for exercise and stuff. I think so. That is what they're meaning over here. Exercise hoops, yes. He will use a tube that is 2.5 meter long. Okay, see this. This length of the tube is 2.5 meter. What does that mean? It's not the diameter. No, it's not the radius. That is unknown. It's not chord or anything. The length of the tube, that is circumference, is 2.5 meters. Circumference is given as 2 pi r. 2 times pi times radius. What will be the diameter of Taiga's exercise hoop? Round your answer to the nearest thousandth of a meter. Now here we need to know this is equal to 2 pi r, or we can write pi d, because circumference is given as 2 pi r if you want the radius, or pi d if you want the diameter. It's up to you. Or you can find the radius first and then multiply it by 2. That is also fine. 2 and radius gives you diameter. All you need to do is d is equal to 2.5 divided by pi. This will be the answer. Of course, you need a value. They have told nearest thousandth of a meter. You need to put this in the calculator. All you need to do is fraction symbol. 2.5 divided by pi is shift, and the symbol over here, it's 0.7. Now let's see what they have asked. Nearest thousand. How do we know how many decimal points? What is a thousand? It's a 1 0 0 0. How many zeros are there here? There are 3 zeros, right? So after the decimal point, there must be 3 digits. Now round it off over here. It will be 0.79. What is 57 making? It will be 57 makes it 6 because it's bigger than 5, right? So it's 0.76 is the diameter. But they have also asked the radius here. If they wanted the radius, you just divide the answer by 2, whatever you got, and it will be 0.398. That's it. You just have to round it off to the nearest thousandth of a meter. So 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 makes it 8. And that's the answer. Or you can use this formula 2 pi r. You can just type it out. 2 pi r is unknown. That is alpha x. That is equal to, given to us the circumference 2.5. Shift solve. This is not the answer. When you press equal to, that will be the answer. And round it off to the nearest thousandth of a meter. How can we describe the relationships that exist between circles and line segments? Okay, circle and a line segment. Now, what is a line from the center? This is the radius. What is this which cuts into, passes through the center and the ends is diameter. And then we have a chord. That will be inside the circle itself, whose a line whose endpoints is on the circle, but it doesn't pass through the center. Then we can tell a tangent. Tangent is a point which, okay, let me just draw it properly. Now imagine this is a point, a line that passes so close that it only touches this one point and never touches the circle. It passes from outside. Okay, this is a tangent, and it has some special properties, isn't it? When you draw a line from the center, it will be 90 degree. That is tangent. Then what is the secant? A line that just cuts and it just extends forward. That is a secant. Okay, let's see the options or the answer, what they have told. They have described, okay, chord is mentioned, diameter and radius. They didn't mention tangent and secant. Tangent, I'm sure you guys know, it passes through the circle at only one point. It touches only one point. And when you draw a radius over there, it's always 90 degree. So these are the few things. That's the relationship between circle and line segments. Okay, we have an interesting problem here. The sum of the circumference of a circle H, J, and K is 56 pi units. Find K and J. Now, they have clearly told us the sum. That means if you find the circumference of circle K plus circumference of circle H and circumference of circle J will be equal to 56 pi. What is the circumference over here? It is 2 pi r, radius of what? K, plus 2 pi radius of H, plus 2 pi radius of J. Wait, this and all is not required. I'm just trying to make you understand if you're confused or something. Now here, what's the radius? The radius is 4 pi, isn't it, for K? So it's 2 pi multiplied by 4x plus, what about this H? H is 2 pi x plus 2 pi 2x. That is equal to 56 pi. If you put this in the calculator, you get it. But instead of all this, I'll tell you an easier method. We know 2 pi is the same thing. For all the circles, it's 2 pi r. All you do is sum up the radiuses. K is 4x plus x plus 2x. This is equal to 56 pi. Now, if I multiply this outside, we'll get this separate individual circles. Yes, but I know 2 pi is a common term, so I've just removed it out. Now, you just put this in the calculator. Let me show you. Here we have 2 pi and open the bracket. It is 4x plus x. You can just write over here 7x directly if you want. That's also fine, but now I'm just going to write it as it is. and over here we have 2x. Close the bracket, equals 56 pi. In fact, this pi and pi can cancel out. You can ignore that if you want, but anyways, I've just written the statement. This is the previous stored answer. This is not the correct answer for x. Now press equal to, the answer is 4. X value is 4, as you can see here. But that is not the answer. We need k and j. What is k and j? This much is 4x, the remaining is 2x. So we need to just multiply 6 times 4, that's 24. We got 6x, right? 6 times 4, that is 24 is the answer. You can see here, kj is 24 units. That's how we solve this problem. And the last problem in the question 1 is the distance from the center of a circle to a point in the interior of a circle. I like to draw it and analyze it. From the center, okay, is the distance from the center to a point in the interior. Inside means anywhere over here. Imagine this is the point or this is a point. Interior, anywhere you can draw. Let's see this distance or this. Sometimes, always, or never less than the radius. Okay, this radius is from center till the circle, on the circle, that is the circumference of the circle, right? On the circle. But here they have told interior of a circle, inside the circle. It never can exceed or be equal to radius. It should be less than. No, because we can never touch the circle. Interior means it will be very close, but it's always inside the circle. So it is always less than the radius. Because no matter what you measure, if this circle is having a radius of 10, the interior of the circle can be 9.99 but never 10. So that's why we can tell it's always less than. Okay, it should be always have a length less than the radius of the circle. Question 2 is to find angle measures using different properties of circles. Here we have been given a circle which one angle is unknown, that is x degrees, but others are all known. So how do we find this? It's very simple. We know the sum of all the angles are 360 degree, right? So 360 minus 105 minus 60 minus 115 will give you the x angle. So that's it. Add them all up and subtract them from 360. You should get x degrees. You can directly do it in the calculator. And over here, they have not given all the three sides. One side is 120, one is x. What does this mean? This means it's a 90-degree angle over there. So we know the 120, 90, unknown x can be easily found out by subtracting these both from 360. You can see here the sum of central angles means adding all the angles equals 360. What I did was I've just taken this directly to the other side. Also, you can type this equation out directly in the calculator. 105 plus 60 plus 115 plus x equals, that is by alpha equal to, that's over here alpha calc, and x is by alpha and this over here, closing the bracket symbol. Now, don't press equal to, you will not get answer because you have used equation and variable. Press shift and solve and it will solve for x, and then press equal to, you will get the answer, that's 80 degrees. And similarly, you can try the others. Here we have been given 42 and we have no clue what is x on the other side. But if you see, this is the diameter. They generally mention this. So this AC, right, this line is the diameter. So this is 180 degrees. You know, 180 plus 42, it's 222. You just do 360 minus that, you'll get the answer. You can see over here, that's the answer. Moving on to the next type of problems. Here we have been given a circle with many angles and we need to find the measure of arcs. And we have to tell whether they are major or minor arc. Now EA, you can see E and A, right? This is a minor arc because it's less than 180 degree. But here it's not just finding that, you need to even find the angle. Now whenever an arc is 180 degrees, it is a semicircle. But if it is more than 180 degree, if it's more, anything more than 180, it is a major arc. And whichever is less than 180, it's a minor arc. Now, how can you find the arc EA? To find arc EA, just find this angle, you will find it out. So how we can do it is, you know, AC is 180 degrees, isn't it? You have 130. What is this remaining? 130. 180 minus 130 will be 50. So it's a minor arc and 50 degrees. Same way, we will just find out all the angles. And what is this angle here? This is again, 180 minus 50 will be 130. You can also see this as vertically opposite. These both are vertically opposite angles. This is 130 vertically opposite angles. Various ways to solve it. Now the first one was 50 and it's minor. What about CB? You can see over here CB is this arc that is 50 degrees already given over here. DC, where is DC? It's 100. It is minor arc as well. DEB, see DEB, it'll be 180 plus 30, it's 210. What about AB? AB, see now don't consider AB from the outer side. If they tell you DEB, then we have to go DEB, not directly DB. Now AB, the nearest distance is just this. Whereas if they are told AD, you don't go like this, you go direct to it. Okay, so AB would be the shorter distance, so it is a minor arc itself, 130. And CDA, that would be semicircle, 180 degrees. So that's the answers. Now we have another problem. PR and QT are the diameters. Now we need to find these measures. What is UPQ? UPQ is this. It's 90 plus 40, 130. Same way do the others. I'll do one more. Say I'll do the last one. PR. See now PRU. Don't go like this because they have told you. So we have to go like this. PRU. Now we know the total circle is 360 minus the remaining part 40. So it must be 320 here. All the others are very straightforward. The answers are simple. So please do try them by yourselves and then check the answers. 360 minus 40 is 320. Question 3 is about arcs and chords. It's from the module 5.3. Here we have to find the x value. Remember, whenever the chords are equal, see this chord is equal to this chord, isn't it? Then whatever the angle formed here will be the same angle at the other side. If this is x, this is also x. If this was 70, this is also 70. So they cut the circle such that the angles are equal. Now we need to find x. We know the total circle is 360 degrees, right? But that is equal to what? If this is x, this is also x. We have x plus 64 degrees. Just solve this up, you'll get the answer. And since it's the electronic part, I'll just use the calculator directly here. All you have to plug in is 360 equals, that is alpha and calc, is equal to x, alpha and closing this bracket, that will give you x plus x. You can write 2x as well, but anyways, I'm just writing this as it is. 64, shift and solve equal to, the answer is 148. X value is 148. Here we need to find x. But if you look closely, look at this. It's at the center. Its vertex is at the center of D and E, right? This chord, this angle. So this angle is literally the same whatever it is over here. So that here, this part of the circle, imagine that is 70 degrees. This is going to be also 70 degrees. But now what do we know here? These chords are equal and this arc formed is 116. So this DE arc is also 116 degrees. Now if that is 116, what about this? It's 116. So x value is 116. You don't need to solve anything here. What about this one here? Now this is 4 and this is also 4, equal to each other. So whatever this arc is there, it should be the same. So its x is 62 degrees. It'll be the same. Now here we have, these two are same. So if this is x and this is also x, and this is 90. So what is remaining? What is the equation to write? We can write x plus 90 is equal to 360 degrees, or 360 is equal to this thing. So we'll use a calculator and solve this up. I'm just going to edit this. It's 360 is equal to x plus x. Instead of 64 in the previous problem, we have 90 here. Don't press equal to, it's math, a syntax error, because you have equation equal to, right? You need to press shift, solve for x, and then equal to, the answer is 135. That's the answer. And here we have, okay, equations. They are told to find the value of x, and they have told this arc and this arc is equal. If these both arcs are equal, then these chords form. The chords which cut the arcs are also equal. So here, what we can write is 2x plus 4, that is equal to 18. Now solve this up in the calculator directly, or so you can solve it. That'll be the answer. It's going to be 7, but let me use the calculator and show you. All you need to write is 2 alpha x plus 4, that is equal to 18. Shift and solve, and then equal to, your answer is 7. Now what else we have here? Again, this arc and this arc is same. So what happens with these two chords? They are equal. It's 2x plus 1 is equal to 5x minus 5. You can use the calculator, but I'm going to solve it manually here. The bigger value of x is 5, so I leave the arrow over there. This numbers at one side, 1 plus 5, and the smaller 2x to the other side. It will be 5x minus 2x. It will be 6 is equal to 3x. X value is 2. That is what we have to solve. X is 2 here. Now the next problem here, yeah, you can see these two chords are equal. They have given the arcs angle to be 2x plus 4 and 3x plus 2, but the chords are equal, so then these arcs must be equal. So let's just solve them up. We'll equate them. 2x plus 4 must be equal to 3x plus 2. Let's rewrite them. 3x is bigger, so I'll leave 3x here, minus 2x, and 2 goes to the other side. It'll be 4 minus 2. So it'll be 2 is equal to x, basically. That's the answer. X is 2. And that's it. We have to just find the value of x. Now, what did we do wrong here? The answer is 1. Let's just look carefully. This is correct. This should be wrong then. Yeah, see, the question is 3x plus 2, not 3. So the solution set, my apologies, is error. But if you do 3x plus 3, then yes, it's going to be 1. They have told the circle M is congruent to circle P, and they have also told this arc, can you see this arc is equal to this arc? So therefore these chords are equal. It is 2x plus 24 equals 6x. So 24 is equal to 2x to the other side will be 2 minus 2x. It's going to be 24 is equal to 4x. That's 6 is equal to x. You can just use the calculator and put this equation directly in the calculator. You will get the answer 6. So that's the answer here. Because these both are equal, the arcs are same, so the chords must be equal. Now here, if you view carefully, they have told this chord and this chord, they look equal, but they have not given the angles. But they have told the circles are congruent, but still we need this arc to be equal to each other, right? So the total is 360. If this is 198, what is the remaining? From 200 to 360, it's 160 and 2 to 200, so it's 162 degrees. Yes, this is equal. Or if you do 360 minus 162, it will be 198 degrees. So these arcs are also equal, so the chords must be equal. 9x minus 78 will be equal to 3x. Let's solve it up. 9x minus 3x is equal to 78. It's 6x is equal to 78, 63, 13x is 13. And that will be the answer. You can just use the calculator and get the answer from the first step itself, but otherwise x is 13. Now look at this problem here. They have told it's in a single circle. You can see this is the center. And there are two chords, but they're equidistant. You can see they're 6, 6 and it's 90 degrees. They're equidistant to each other. So therefore the chords will be equal to each other. You do not need to remember all the theorems because it's not writing exam or anything. Just remember when these two are equal, the chords also equal. They are equidistant from the center. Therefore the chords will be equal. And what is TS? TS is 21. That is equal to UV is 3x. So divide both the sides by 3. It will be 7 is equal to x. That's the answer. So it's a very simple one. And here we have the last problem. Here they have told in this particular circle, I think so GQ and G must be equal. No, they have told CD. See, look at this. This chord is equal to CB. If these two chords are equal, then of course this will be equidistant. So what is GQ and EQ? They are equal to each other. But they have told their values as well. It will be x plus 5, that is equal to 3x minus 6. So here we'll take minus 6 to the other side, will be 5 plus 6 3x minus x. We have 2x and over here we have 11. Divide both the sides by 2, it will be 5.5 is equal to x. They just wanted the value of x, not any other thing. So that's the answer. But imagine they had told you to find GQ. Then whatever x value you find, put it back in this equation. It'll be 5.5 plus 5. So it'll be 10.5. Just remember what they have asked in the question. If they have asked only the x value, this is it. Nothing else. But if they ask you EQ or something else, then you have to put this particular thing back into the equation and then simplify it. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder and a humble request. Please do share my channel and my videos with your friends and to whoever that can benefit from it. And I also kindly ask you if you can hit the subscribe button and like my videos, it would mean a lot. The question 4 is relationships between inscribed angles. Here we have a set of different problems. The first type begins with a simple one. Finding measure of arc AC. Here we can see the angle B is inscribed. How do we find this measure of arc AC? There's a simple formula. Whenever we have an inscribed angle, this arc is twice than this of inscribed angle, or this inscribed angle is half of this arc. So I will write over here the measure of angle B is equal to half of the measure of arc AC. So this is the arc. That's it. And now we need to find the arc AC. So take this 2 to the other side. It will be 2 times the measure of arc angle B. That is 36. So that is the measure of arc AC. We get over here as 72 degrees. That would be the answer. You can see that's the answer, 72. Here they have asked to measure the angle N. We have this arc. So the inscribed angle will be half of this arc. So it's 62 divided by 231 would be the answer. Very straightforward problems. Please solve them by yourselves. Here, one important thing. If it was a central angle, now imagine this was the angle, then this and this are equal. We have done it in the previous problems, but now it's inscribed angle. It's inscribed on any part of the circle. So that's why we take it as half. And then we can easily solve it up. Over here also it's the same thing, QSR. It'll be half of, 2 times of 113 degrees. And this is 23, so this will be 2 times 23, 46 would be the answer. Try these by yourselves and then check for the answers. Everything is solved up over here. And now this one, how exactly would you do it? Here they have told this arc is 120, this is 140. So what is this one? You can add these up and minus it from 360 degrees. Total is 360 degree in a circle. Minus 120 minus 140. It'll be 260. So 100 is remaining. So this one over here is 100. But that arc is 100. So what is the measure of angle R? Half of 100 is 50 degrees. So that is how we can solve it up. And now we need to find the measure of angle N. This is a little different type of question. Here this is needed to be solved, and we know a few of the angles, but look at these sides. See, this is the inscribed and this is inscribed. Where does it touch? P and L. And even over here we know it's having the same point. So that means angle M and N are equal. Now we know M is how much? 3y plus 8. That is equal to 6y minus 1. So solve for y. So it will be take 3y to the other side and this minus 1 to the other side. It will be 8 plus 1 equals 6y minus 3y. You will have 9 is equal to 3y. Y is equal to 3. So measure of y is 3. So it will be 3 times 3 plus 8. It's 9 plus 8 over here. It will be 17. So measure of angle N is 17 degrees. That's the answer. Same way, please do solve for the other angles, just how we have done. Over here, L and P are congruent and you can equate them and solve it up. Here we have a different figure, but the concept remains the same. Look which is inscribed. This angle is inscribed and which is it equal to? Angle D, because D is also having the same ends. So then just equate it up and solve it up. Even with A and B are congruent to each other. Let us learn about the fundamental counting principle. Fundamental counting principle helps us to know the sample space or the total possibilities of a certain condition. In a city basketball league, there must be a minimum of 14 players on a team's roster. One 14-player team has three centers, four power forwards, two small forwards, three shooting guards, and the rest of the players are point guards. How many different five-player teams are possible in one player if one player is selected from each position? Now you need to understand here they have told it's 14-player team. So don't go to multiply 14. We need to know how many different different category players are possible, the total possible outcome. Now here this, no, don't multiply. There are total 14. So there are three centers, four power forwards, two small forwards, three shooting guards, and the rest of the players are point guards. Now here they have not told all the numbers. So this is out of 14, we know 3 minus 4 minus 2 minus 3. So we have 7, 10, 12. 14 minus 12 would be 2. So there are two people remaining, right? Rest of the players, they are the point guards. So you have to just multiply all these numbers. And this 2 is found out by subtracting the given numbers from the total number of players, that's 14. So this is how we do it. And just by multiplying that, you will get the answer. Angelica is comparing vacation prices in Boulder, Colorado. This is the same place. Boulder is in Colorado itself. And Sarasota in Florida. In Boulder, she can choose a 1 week or 2 weeks stay in a 1 or 2 bedroom suite. In Sarasota, she can choose 1, 2, 3 weeks stay or 2 or 3 bedroom suite. So on the beach or not, even there's option of beach or not. So how many outcomes are there in Boulder? Let's do Boulder first. Boulder is having 2 week choices for the week stay and 2 bedrooms. It's just 4. That's it. What about Sarasota? Here there is 3 week options. There is 2 bedroom options, and you can either choose a beach or not. So there are 2 options over there as well. 3 times 2 times 2. So this is 4. What about this? 6 times 2 is 12. So the total possible outcomes for the booking the vacation is total 16. 12 plus 4 is 16. So that would be the method to solve this. Boulder do it separately. Sarasota also do it separately. That's 12. And then add them up. You will get the total possible outcomes. Morris packs suits, shirts, and ties that can be mixed and matched. Uses packing lists to draw a tree diagram to represent the sample space for possible suit combination using one article from each category. Now let's look at this. The suits, number of suits. Now this is not to be added. It's gray, black, and khaki. Here shirts, white and light blue. Ties, striped or optional. That means you can have a tie or no tie. There are 2 over here, white and light blue, gray, black, and khaki. So we have to put the colors first, the suits first, G, B, and K. Then we have 2 options each ways, that is WB, WB, and WB. Over here there is again 2 options, tie, no tie, 2 options, tie, no tie, tie, no tie. So it's again no tie. Again we have tie, no tie, and lastly tie and no tie. Now this is a rough tree diagram. Over here if you see GWT is one possible outcome. Then there is GWNT, GBT, GBNT. So these are all the possibilities, okay? So they have asked you to find all the possible outcomes. So you can see here with the suit there is 3, shirt there is again 2 for each category, and then tie also there's 2 categories for each. And then you write out all the possible outcomes. Here we have that Tala wears a school uniform that consists of a skirt or pants, a white shirt, a blue jacket or sweater, white socks, and black shoes. She has 3 pairs of pants, 3 skirts, 6 white shirts, 2 jackets, 2 sweaters, 6 pairs of white socks, and 3 pairs of black shoes. Now here if you look carefully, they have told skirt or pant, then white shirt, jacket or sweater. This is important because we cannot multiply the number of skirts and pants like this. No, this would be wrong because it's or, clearly mentioned or. So you need to add them up. So basically, or is always adding, and is multiplication, right? So what you can do over here is skirts or pants, take them as one category. Pants is 3, skirts is also 3. Multiply it with number of shirts. Then multiply it with jackets or sweaters. So it is 2 plus 2. Then multiply it with white socks and black socks, they have told. So multiply it with 3. So these are all the possibilities. Here they have not told white socks or black socks. They have told and, so you need to multiply. See over here, only the skirt and the sweater and jackets. Skirt and pants, sweater and jackets are to be added. Everything else, it will be 3 plus 3 is 6 times 6 times 4 times 6 times 3. That is the possibility. Here it's the same thing. They have given the details about a sandwich shop, and what you need to do is find all the total possibilities, choices they can have from bread, meat, and cheeses. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 over here. So that would be the answer, 3 times 4 times 5. Here we have another interesting problem. List 6 different expressions that could be used to evaluate the area of the composite figure. Now here, you need to find the area. Area can be found out by this adding up all these different polygons, right? This is a rectangle, over here another rectangle, like that. You can find it by adding up all the polygons, isn't it? So you need to find different ways, 6 different ways. So one would be like this. You can do many. I'll just show you how. You can consider this as a polygon, this separately. That's one possibility. Or you can consider that one like this. You can chop this up, or you can make this, like this. Various ways. It's just see, this is one possibility. Over here there's another. See, all these are different possibilities. I'm not exactly sure how this will be asked in the MCQ, but anyways, these are the possibilities to know, and these are the different ways. You can just add them up by multiplying the polygons, finding the area of each polygon and summing them up. That would be the area of this figure. Here we have another problem about license plates. One state requires license plates to consist of 3 letters followed by 3 numbers. The letter O and the number 0 may not be used, but any other combination of letters or numbers is allowed. How many different license plates can be created? Okay. Now, how many letters are they? They want 3 letters and 3 numbers. So total letters in English language is 26. But they cannot use O. So A to Z, but O is excluded. So -1, it's 25 here. Same thing with numbers, 0 to 9. There are 10 numbers. But here we have to exclude 0. So it will be 10 numbers in total. 10 minus 1 will be 9. Why it's 10 numbers? Because 0 is also included. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It will be 10 minus 1. There are 3 letters. So it will be 25 times 25 times again 25. 3 times 25. And what about the numbers? It's 9. So multiply. These are all the possibilities for letters, and then there is possibility 9 times 9 times 9 for the letters. So if you multiply that, you'll get the possible answers. So there can be nearly 11.4 million different license plates possible from this combination. Jack has been offered a number of internships that could occur in 3 different months, in 3 different departments, and for 3 different companies. Jack is only available to complete his internship in July. How many different outcomes are there for his internship? So now here, the thing is 3 different months, it is possible, but he is only there for 1 month. So this will not be used. 3 won't be used. It's 1 multiplied by 4 times 3. So we have to just multiply all the possibilities. 1 times 4 times 3, or 1 times 3. See, it's July only. Therefore month becomes only 1. Departments are 3. Sorry, the companies are 3, departments are 4. The answer is 12. Question 6 is about probability and counting. It's from module 7.2. These are all real world problems, and they're pretty easy because you don't need to solve in detail. Just get to the part what is required and you can easily solve them up. The first question is about statistics. A survey found that 90% of the junior class is right-handed. Okay, right-handed, 90%. So what is left-handed then? 10%, directly you can tell. If one junior is chosen at random out of 100, so total is 100, one person is selected, what is the probability that he or she is left-handed? You don't even need to do it. It's directly left-handed is 10%, right? That's the probability. But how many are left-handed? Out of 100, there are 10 because 10%. So it's 1 by 10 or 10%. Basically, they have given in percentages, so it's very simple. Right-handed is 90%. If you choose a student randomly out of 100, one who is right-handed is 90% chance, whereas left-handed is only 10% or 1 by 10. 0.1. Okay, these are all correct answers. It depends on how your option is given. You generally might have 1 by 10 or 0.1. Or if it's in percentage over here, just multiply this by 100, you'll get percentage. The next one, Roll bought 24 raffle tickets out of 1,545. The total tickets were sold by 1,545. What is the probability that Roll will not win the grand prize of the raffle ticket? Not win. This is interesting because they have not asked what is the probability that he'll win. Not win is given by probability complement, of A, that is equal to 1 minus probability of A. If you want him not to win, first find what is the probability he is going to win and then subtract it by 100%, then that's it. So now imagine there is 40% chance of rain. Okay, chance of rain is 40%. What is the probability that it's not going to rain? 100 minus 40% is equal to 60%. It's not going to rain, right? So this is it's basically not rain, sorry. It's just that you can easily understand 40%, 60%. The same way over here, find the probability how much is going to win. Not winning will be 100% minus the percent or 1 minus 1 minus 0.4. Yeah, that's it. So let's do that now here. So probability that is going to win, because he has 24 tickets out of 1545. This is the probability he is going to win, but not winning will be just 1 minus that. As simple as that. Let's take our calculators and solve. Over here we type 1 minus 24 divided by 1545. The answer is 0.98%. That's you can multiply this by 100, but don't just put this. This is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. You need to put the brackets if you're putting to this equation directly, or once you get the answer, just multiply that by 100. It's 98.44%, 45% that is not going to win. Because you can see there are so many tickets and only 24 tickets are bought by him. So 98% is not going to win. Only 2% chance, less than 2% chance, he will win. That's how we solve it. Here, what we have is Riverview High School. 120 students were asked whether they prefer a lion or a timber wolf as the new school mascot. What is the probability that a randomly selected student will have voted for lion as the new school mascot? They have given the details here. They want lion as the school mascot, right? How many have chosen lion? 78. What is the total number of students? 120. That's it. That's the answer. You just put it in the calculator, you will get the exact value. All we need to do is 78 divided by 120. And that is the answer. It's 0.65, 65% if you multiply that by 100. So that's the answer here. In even senior class of 240 students, 85% are planning to attend college after graduation. 85%. So how many are not attending? It's 15%. What is the probability that a senior chosen at random is not planning to attend college after graduation? I'm not going to solve anything because over here directly we can tell it's 15%. Why? Because 85 are going to college, then the remaining out of 115 will not go to college. So it's 0.15 or 15. Rather than finding the number of students, everything, it's not required because it's direct problem. And it's electronic, you can directly get the answer. So that's the answer here. What about this problem here? We have a graph, a Venn diagram. This is called Venn diagram. The Venn diagram shows that the cast members who are in Act 1 and Act 2 of the play, one of the students will be chosen at random to attend a statewide performing art conference. Let A be the event that a cast member is in Act 1 of the play, and let B be the event the person is in Act 2. Find the probability of A intersection B. Look, Yeah, Act 1 means all these are in this particular drama. Imagine this is a drama 1. There are two dramas and second play or a drama or a skit or anything. Kate, Paige, Brad, Garrett, Amy, Alex are doing drama 1. In drama 2, Tyron, Walter, Fran, Amy and Alex are also included. These five people are doing drama 2 as well. They want to know A intersection B. Who are doing both of them? Here you can see the middle, Amy and Alex, they are in both of these dramas, right? So they are the intersection. A intersection B is who are there in both, Amy and Alex. The second part is what is the probability that a student who is chosen to attend the conference in the cast is a cast member of only one of the two acts. Now Amy and Alex are there in both, so exclude them. All the others are there only in one act. See, Tyron, Walter, Fran only in the second drama, whereas Kate, Paige, Brad, Garrett only in the first drama. So our desired outcomes, desired people are these people. How many are there? 7. Total are 9. So 7 by 9 is the probability that if you randomly choose a person, they'll be only in one specific act, not both. Only one, they are told. Only one of the two acts. So answer is 7 by 9 or 78%. The 20th one is about a spinner. Larry is playing a game that uses a spinner. What is the probability that the spinner will land on a prime number on the next spin? Okay, now prime numbers are the numbers which can be divided by itself and 1. Nothing else. Now 1 is a prime number. It's always there. 2, 3 is also a prime number. 4 is not a prime number. Why? Because 4 can be divided by 2. So that's not a prime number. Whereas 5 is a prime number. There are plenty of prime numbers until the first 100 digits. Then it's very, very less. 6 is not, because 6 can be divided by 3. So similarly, let's see 29. 29 is a prime number, in fact. Okay, because there's nothing that can divide by this. You can't divide 1, 2, 3. No, nothing. What about 53? 53, 3 goes, right? No. 52. Okay, so even this 26. No, it's a prime number. You can use a calculator and try dividing this by 3, 4, 5, 2 onwards. So no. 47, I don't think so. 45, 46. 47 is also not a prime number, I believe. I'm just thinking in my mind. 17, no. No, this is also not a prime number. 19 is not a prime number, I know that for sure. 37, I think so. 37 is not a prime number. 35 is not. Sorry, 80 is a prime number. It is. This is a prime number. This is. Yeah, this is also prime number. Okay, there is nothing that divides. Are they all prime numbers? I know 23 is a prime number for sure. Because 21, 23 is even 41. Yeah, all are prime numbers. Let me just check. Yeah, they're all prime numbers. Okay. So here it's 100% chance that it'll be a prime number. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits over here are prime numbers out of 7. All are the prime numbers. So therefore, no matter what number spins the next turn, it is going to be a prime number. So the probability is 1. 1 means 100% chance it'll be a prime number. Here about shopping, Raya asks 40 people outside the mall whether or not they visited for shopping or dining. So in a mall, there's only both shopping and dining. So what did they go for exactly? She records the results in the Venn diagram. You can see some of them. 13 only went for shopping, 9 only went for dining, and 11 went for both. Whereas 7 didn't even go inside, I believe, because that's outside, right? They didn't go for any of these reasons. One person will be chosen at random to be interviewed on the local evening news. Find the probability that the person chosen will be someone who visited the mall for shopping and dining. Who are the intersections? 11, right? 11 out of 40, this will be the probability. Just put it in the calculator. That's the answer. 11 out of 40 or 27.5%. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder and a humble request. Please do share my channel and my videos with your friends and to whoever that can benefit from it. And I also kindly ask you if you can hit the subscribe button and like my videos, it would mean a lot. Here we will learn the multiplication rule of probability. It's all real world problems. Omari has two pairs of red socks and two pairs of white socks in a drawer. He has a drawer with two red t-shirts and one white t-shirt. Okay, there's about socks. There are red and white. There is red and white t-shirts as well. If he randomly chooses a pair of socks from the sock drawer and t-shirt from the t-shirt drawer, what is the probability that he gets a pair of red socks and white t-shirts? See, the thing is, probability of A and B is asked. They have told clearly and. It's not or, it's and. That is given by multiplication, probability of A multiplied by probability of B. Now, if you look carefully, there is no common term. These are independent events because a sock drawer will only have socks here and t-shirt drawer will only have t-shirts. There won't be a same thing when he picks. So they are independent. And what is the first probability? They want red socks. How many red socks are there? There are 2. Divided by how many total socks are there? 2 and 2, 4. Multiplied with t-shirt, white t-shirt. How many? 1 white t-shirt. Out of how many total? 2 and 1, it's 3. So that'll be the answer. This is electronic part. You just put in the calculator and you'll get the answer. It'll be 2 by 12 or 1 by 6. It depends how your option is. And what if it is in percentage? Let's use our calculators. Once you put, I'll put this entire thing here, 2 by 4, which is half, times 1/3, 1 divided by 3 here. The answer is 1 by 6, or it is 0.1666. How to get it in percent? It's better to use brackets because over here it's multiplication, you'll get the answer. But if it was plus, you wouldn't get the answer without bracket. Multiplied by 100, it is 16.67 or 16.7%. They have taken approximated to a decimal, the whole numbers, it's 17%. Phyllis drops a penny in a pond and then she drops a nickel in the pond. What is the probability that both coins land with tail showing? It's half times half. That's it. This is the answer because here we want tails. 1 by 2 is the probability because it's only the head or tail, right? So half, and even the next one must be tails half. That's it. A die is rolled and a penny is flipped. What is the probability of rolling a 2? A die, it's 2. Sorry. Rolling a 2 would be 1 by 6 because you have 6 options and you need a number 2. And landing a tail is half. So this is it. 1/6 times 2 will be the answer. A bag contains 3 red marbles, 2 green marbles, 4 blue marbles. A marble is drawn randomly from the bag and is replaced before the second marble. That means, let's see how many total marbles are there. 5, 9. Now you're drawing 1. If you draw red marble, there'll be, imagine this is the probability. Now again, if you draw a red marble, it's again going to be 3 by 9 because you're putting it back. You're not going to take it away. After you took the marble, you're replacing it. But if it was not replaced, then this is going to be 2 by 8 because 1 marble will be reduced. That is the meaning of replaced or not replaced. Here we are replaced, so it's pretty easy. Before a second marble is chosen. What is the probability both marbles are blue? Let's see what's blue probability. 4 by 9. Second is also blue, 4 by 9. That's it. This is the answer. This is for replaced. But what if not replaced? Then it would be 4 by 9 for the first one because there are 9 marbles. But the next one will be 3 by 8 because 1 is reduced. Here the answer will be 4 by 9 times 4 by 9 because there is replacement. The answer is 20%. The forecast predicts a 40% chance of rain on Tuesday and 60% chance on Wednesday. If these probabilities are independent, what is the chance that it will rain on both the days? Independent, that means they're not going to affect each other. So just multiply 40% multiplied by 60% or 0.4 times 0.6. That will be the answer. Just take your calculators. See, 40% is 2 by 5, 60% is 3 by 5. Let me show you by percentages itself. All you need to do is 40. To use percent, use this symbol. Or you can take 0.4 multiplied by 60%. And the answer is 0.24. It's 24%. You roll an even number on a fair die and then spin a spinner numbered from 1 to 3. So you roll an even number in a fair die. That is 3 by 6, half percentage. and spinner from 1 to 5, and it lands on odd number. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Odd numbers are 1, 3, and 5. There are 3 possibilities out of 5. So just multiply these both, you get the answer. Okay, what did they ask is not to solve the probability, they ask whether they're independent or dependent. Now let's understand the situation. You're rolling a die and then you're spinning a spinner. Can they be same? No, they're not going to depend on each other. Whatever the probability of this die will never impact or will change the probability of the spinner. So they are independent events. These two have no bearing on each other whatsoever, so they are called independent events. An ace is drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards and not replaced, and then another ace is drawn. These are dependent. Why? Because what's the probability of the first one? Ace, there are 4 aces out of 52 cards. Next time, if it's not replaced, it's going to be 3 and 51. See, the probability changes. Whereas if this was replaced, then it's going to be 4 by 52 multiplied by 4 by 52. Look, it doesn't impact the probability of each other. But in this case, when it's not replaced, it impacts, therefore they are dependent. The answer is dependent. Okay, that's the explanation. In a bag of 3 green, 4 blue marbles, a blue marble is drawn and not replaced, and then the second blue marble is drawn. Of course, it'll be dependent on each other. Now imagine they are told blue and then second was green. Even then it is dependent. Why? Because 4 by 7, total at 4 plus 3 is 7. Next, blue will be 3 by 6. What if it's green marble next? It will be 3 by 6 itself. Look over here. 3 are there, 6. What if it was replaced? If it was replaced, then it will be 4 by 7 blue. Next, this is for blue I'm talking about. Both answers the same. But blue would be, if it's replaced, again 4 by 7. Whereas green, it will be 3 by 7 times 3 by 7. You can see the difference over here. So when it is not replaced, they are dependent. You roll 2 fade dice and roll a 5 on each. It's 2 fade dice. These are independent of each other. Why? Because you're going to roll a die. It's going to be 5. It's a fade die. 5, 6, any possibilities. There again, second one, any possibility. They're not going to impact each other's probabilities. Mr. Hans places the names of 4 of his students, Joe, Sophia, Hayden, and Bonita, on slips of paper. From these, he intends to randomly select 2 students to represent his class at the robotics convention. He draws the name of the first student, sets it aside, then draws the name of the second student. What is the probability he draws Sophia, then Joe? Now here, this is again about dependent. They're dependent on each other. First is Sophia, right? So how many students are there? 4. Total is 4. 1 is Sophia. Next one. It's Joe out of 3. So 1 by 4 times 1 by 3 must be the answer. Very, very straightforward. 1 by 12 will be the final answer. 8%. This is about cards. A card is drawn from a standard deck of playing cards and is not replaced. Then a second card is drawn. If it's not replaced, then they are dependent. The probabilities are dependent. Find the probability that the first card is Jack of Spades. Jack of Spades. There's only one Jack of Spades out of 52 cards. Multiplied with. The second card is black. Now there are total black colors 26. Okay. Jack of Spades is also black. So minus 1. That will be 25. Now it's 25. But don't forget, it's not 52 anymore. It's 51 cards because Jack of Spades is not replaced back. So this is the answer. It will be 1 by 52 times not 25 by 52. It's 25 by 51 here. So that's it. Put in the calculator. It's about 1%. Here we have about intramural sports. The table shows the color and number of jerseys available for the intramural volleyball tournament. If each jersey is given away randomly, what is the probability that the first and the second jerseys given away are both red? See, red. How many total are they? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Total is 70. Now you're giving away, you're not going to get it back. Once you give, it's done, right? How many reds are there? 25. This is the first one. Multiplied by, again, you're giving red. It reduces by 1, and even over here, it reduces by 1. So this is it. That will be the probability, and that should be the answer. It's 25 by 70, 24 by 69. In this video, we will learn how to construct and interpret two-way frequency tables. Here we have a two-way frequency table which is already given, compares data about students in a class who completed or did not complete homework, and those who passed or did not pass an exam. Okay, so this is the completed homework, did not complete homework, and among the students who completed homework, who passed and who did not pass. How many students completed their homework and passed the exam? Identify whether marginal or joint frequencies are used. Marginal and joint frequency in simple understanding is marginal is at the margins, the corner endmost ones, whereas joint is the inside one, the common ones. Okay, these four blocks are joint, whereas the totals are the marginal ones. Here, what is the question? How many students completed their homework and passed the exam? Completed homework, passed the exam. It's 18 number of students. That's the answer. And which did you use? It's joint frequency, the ones in the inside. The outside ones are marginal. Next question. Raquel surveys 160 people to determine if they prefer drama or comedy movies. The relative frequency table shows the data collected from the survey. Determine whether gender is independent of the movie type preference. Explain your reasoning. Here you need to first understand this is relative frequency table. It's already done. The probabilities are already given. You can find whether data is independent or not independent by finding the joint frequencies. That's the inner part. Now, if you multiply the marginals over here, the totals, and get this value, that is the expected answer, expected joint frequency, then that would mean it is basically independent. But if they don't match, if you find the expected and actual are different, then it's not independent. Let's take a calculator and see. All you need to do is to find this drama male, just multiply the totals. That is 37.5 percentages over here, or you can take it as 0.375 multiplied with 59.4%. Don't forget the percent. Now the answer is how much? It is 22.2%. It's not matching. So I can just stop. You can try the other values. All the values should match only if they match. Now, if you want this male comedy movies, you should take the total of male and multiply it with the total of this comedy movies. And then you will get, if you get 25%, that means expected and the actual ones are same. But here it's not same. You can see the expected joint, what we expect by multiplying is not matching. So therefore it is not independent. If at all they were all same, then it would be independent. For a business report on technology use, Darnell asks a random sample of 72 shoppers whether they own a smartphone and whether they own a tablet computer. His survey shows that out of 51 shoppers who own smartphones, 9 of them also own a tablet. While out of 21 shoppers who do not own smartphones, 15 of them do not own tablets either. Find the conditional probability that shopper has a tablet given that he or she has a smartphone. Justify your answer. This is a conditional probability. We have done similar problems already many times before. Here the condition is given, whatever is after given, that is, has a smartphone. So that must be the condition. What is the probability? Has a tablet given that has a smartphone. So whatever is down must be down over here. Probability of having a smartphone. They have told over here, right? Total number of shoppers is 72. That is the total sample space divided by 72. And what is over here? How many shoppers have a smartphone? 51 own smartphone. So 51 by 72. What is tablet and smartphone? You can see 9 of them also owns a tablet. So here 51 shoppers who own a smartphone also owns a tablet. So 9 basically. 9 out of 72. So basically cancel this out. 9 by 51 is the answer. If you do 9 by 51, you must get 17.7%. Let me just do it. Because we are taking the values in percent, I have multiplied by 100. Here it is 17.64 and they have rounded out to 17.7. If you're thinking why, because they have, see, rounded off these values. They have not taken the full values, but if you take the actual value, it should be 17.6 if you're rounding off to the nearest tenth. But they have not told round off to anything, so it's fine. This is also the possible answer. This is the closest to it. But in the exam, it will be much clearer, so not to worry. And it's better to take the actual values, the exact values. That is much accurate. Paz asks a random sample of seniors at a high school whether they own a car and whether they have a job. The results on the survey are shown in a two-way frequency table. Paz asks that the conditional probability that a student has a job given that he or she has a car is 46.7. Do you agree? So we need to just check this answer. So what is the condition probability? That a student has a job given that he or she has a car. So job given car. Probability of job and car needs to be known, and probability of just car. Probability of car. So what is probability of job and car? Has a job and has a car. It is 21.9% divided by probability of car. That's over here, the total, 34.4%. Now let's just put it in the calculator. Here the answer we get is, okay, it should be 63.6%. So this is wrong. It's wrong over here. You can see 63.66, it's 63.7. You can see here 63.7%. You can see over here she has taken probability of C condition J. That means has a car condition, already has a job. So that is the mistake. We will just do this as well. If you just take probability of C condition J, that is probability of, this is the same thing, J and C itself, or C and J, it's the same thing, divided by, this is not C, probability of J. Sorry, it should be probability of J. So now the value, the first value is same, 21.9%, but over here, instead of taking this value, she has taken the job value, that is 46.9%. And then when you solve this, you must get 46.7%. You can see over here, when you solve this up, you're getting 46.7%. That is the mistake which PAS has done over here. In this video, we will learn how to solve systems of linear equations by graphing. The initial questions are not by graphing. There are two questions by graphing. But here they have asked to state whether these equations are consistent or inconsistent, and whether they are independent or dependent. Now, you need to understand, if it's consistent, there are two cases. Consistent means you have solution. If there is consistent, there can be independent and dependent. If it's inconsistent, that is just no solution. That's it. Now, how do we understand which is what? We can directly do it in the calculator and verify. But first important thing is, we should know the standard form. That is ax plus by equals c. So we need to write everything in this standard form. Leave y as it is. Let's take this to the other side. It'll be, this equation will be rearranged to minus 3x plus y is equal to 0. And the second one will be 3x. Goes to the other side, it becomes positive. Plus y is equal to 2. Now if you're thinking over here, can't I take y to the other side? Yes, you can. Then it will be positive 3x minus y. If both the signs will be changed, that's fine. You'll get the same answer. You can try that. Now, this, when you solve it in the calculator, you get answers. So how will it help me to understand this consistent or inconsistent? I'll tell you in a minute. First, let's solve it in the calculator. We need to use mode, and these are equations, so it's phi. And now which option over here? It's not 3 and 4 because it's squared and cubic. No, we don't have z variables. So let's go with option 1. And here we have to type in the coefficients of x, y, and the last constant value. The coefficient is minus 3. Over here it will be 1. And lastly we have 0. Same thing, 3, 1, and over here 2. Once you type all the values, after pressing, if you press equal to, you'll get the answers. Now we are not bothered about the answers. They are not asking for answers. We got the solution, right? That means if you graph these two equations, they will meet at a certain point. That was at 1/3, 1. So this is, they are meeting at a point. So this means there is a solution. So it is consistent. The answer, whenever you get a solution over here, it is consistent. But what is it? Dependent or independent? To know whether it's dependent or independent, you need to see how you get the answer. It's only 1 point, right? One answer. That means these linear equations touch at 1 point and never touch again. So they're independent. Now imagine the solution, the two graphs, are overlapping. They're the same lines. Okay, then that means there are infinite solutions. Then they are dependent over here. If two lines are the same. If two lines are not going to touch anymore, only one point, then it's independent. If they don't touch at all, if they are two separate lines, then they are inconsistent. That is no solution. So whenever you get the answers, you directly tell it's consistent, independent. That's the answer over here. This is consistent, independent. Now let's do some other problem. Let's do the second one. Please remember here when you're doing it, you need to take this x to the other side. It'll be minus 1 and then y is 1. And what about the constant? It's minus 5. Minus 2, 2 and minus 10. Now here we are getting infinite solution. If you have the latest model of your calculator, then yes, you will get this. But otherwise, what's going to happen is you will get a math error. Now, in this case, you need to simplify this because majority of you might just get a math error. And what you need to do is you need to solve this up. How would you solve this? So it's up to you to choose which form you want to keep. You can just keep it as standard form because majority of the questions will be in standard form. See, it'll be x and y together and the constant. So I will write the first equation like that. I'll take this to the other side. It'll be minus x plus y equals minus 5. Now all you need to do is make one of the coefficients equal. You can either make minus 2 to minus x or you can make minus x to minus 2x. It's up to you. Now here in this case it's easy to multiply over here. If you just multiply 2, you will make these coefficients same, right? I'll multiply here minus 2x, but you need to multiply this 2 throughout, not just for one term. Plus 2y equals minus 10. Now look at these two equations. What are they? They are the same. That means they are the same line, literally the same line. So there is infinite solution. Every point is the solution. That means it's dependent. Here we have infinitely many solutions and it's consistent and dependent, as you can see. You can try the others over here. You will get an answer. So it's very simple. It's consistent, independent. Let's try without solution. Okay, over here there is 0 solutions. Let's do this up. When you solve it up, you should just put 3, 1, minus 2, 6, 2 and 10. Now we are getting no solution, but many of your calculators will just give you a math error. So what do? You need to start simplifying them. Now, as I told you, see the first coefficient. Over here we had to write it in the same form. But here you need to see the coefficients and try to get them same. One of the coefficient only, not all. So let's multiply this by 2. What will I get? I'll get 6x plus 2y is equal to minus 4. Can you see that these two terms are matching, but this last terms, minus 2 and 10, they're not the same. This means they are same slope, same things. They're parallel lines. I mean, it'll start somewhere, but they will be starting at different y-intercept. That is the reason they are parallel lines. They'll never touch each other. Therefore, it's just inconsistent, no solution. That is how we solve these problems. I'll just write out the types of graphs. So if it is consistent, then it can be two things and one more is inconsistent. I see. Now what about consistent? It can be dependent and independent. 1, 2. So first, dependent would be same lines. That is the thing. Independent is something like this and inconsistent would be parallel lines. These are the three cases. Now over here you will get, answer in the solution. Independent is direct answers in the calculator over. That is consistent and independent. Whereas if you're getting no solutions directly, then just take inconsistent. But if your calculator is giving math error, solve it up. And if you're getting the x, y same but equal to different numbers here, then it is inconsistent. They are parallel lines. But if you're getting the entire two equations same, then it would be dependent. So these are the three cases. Easily you can check the answers from the options. So these are the solutions over here. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder and a humble request. Please do share my channel and my videos with your friends and to whoever that can benefit from it. And I also kindly ask you if you can hit the subscribe button and like my videos, it would mean a lot. This video is about solving systems of equations algebraically. It's from the module 9.5. We do not need to solve in detail because it's the electronic part. I'll just use the calculator and solve them directly. These both equations are in standard form, that is x and y at one side and equal to the number or the constant. So we go to mod phi, and here you need to click on 1 if there are two equations. And then type in the coefficients. It's 2, and then we have -1, and lastly 9. And similarly, the second equation, the coefficient, there's nothing. That means 1, 3, and -6. 1, 3, and -6. That is it. When you press equal to, you get 3 and -3. That will be the solution. Even if you solve it algebraically, over here are the steps, the final answer will be the same. It was 3, positive 3, x, and y, the second term is -3. Similarly, you can try all these problems. They are just the same. You can press AC and get back to that, or you can click on mod phi 1. We just need to type the coefficients. It's 2, -1, and lastly we have 7. In the second equation, we have 6, -3, and 14. Just remember, here you can see there's -y. There's nothing. So it's 1 and the negative sign, so it's -1. Now, in this case, there is no solution. But how exactly can you find if you're getting a math error? In some models, you will directly get it as no solution, but some models will just come as math error. Even for infinite solutions, the same thing. So what you do is try to get this and this term equal. How do we do it? See, it's 2x. So just divide entirely this equation by 3. So you're going to get 2, isn't it? Let me just split that division. Divide this by 3, by 3, and by 3. So what's the answer over here? It's going to be 2x minus y equals 14 by 3. Now here, are these equations same? No, they're different, right? If the equations are same, then it'll be infinite solution. Infinite solution. That means it's literally the same equations. Infinite solutions. If it's different, you just tell it's no solution. And the other cases, you'll just get the answer. So it's very, very easy to find out. When you get a math error, there are two cases. It's either no solution or infinite solution. Just divide, look at this coefficient and try to get the other equation same as this. Just solve it up. If they both are same, then what do you say? It is infinite solution. But if it is not the same, just over here we can see there are different values. 7 and 14 by 3 is not the same. All the terms must be equal, but they are not. So we call it no solution. And that's it. So here the answer is no solution. It's not true. When you solve it up, 21 is not equal to 14. So we call it as no solution. As you can see, that's the answer. Similarly, try these problems. Over here, you get the solution directly, so there's no problem. Let us try this one also has the answer. I'm just looking for a problem. Let me try this one. It seems like it might be infinite solution. 4, -1, and 6 we have here. It's 2 minus half, that is 1 by 2 or 0.5, and we have 4. Over here, it's again no solution. What you need to do is just divide this by 2 entirely, by 2 and by 2. So what happens here? It's 2x minus y by 2. It's all same, but here it'll be 3, but we wanted 4. I mean, over here it's 4. We didn't want anything. Since it's different, it's no solution. But if it was 4 here, then it would have been infinite solution. So here the answer is no solution. And now this has infinite solution. Let's solve this one. Let's first do it in the calculator. It'll be 2, 1, and 8. What about the second equation? It is 3. 3 by 2 or 1.5. You can just write 3 by 2. This is fraction symbol, or you can even put divided by 2. And we have 12. So we typed in all. We got infinite solution. Why is that? Now here it's a little bit of a problem because we have 2 and we have 3 here. So what can we do here? So there's one way. You can either, because it's not the same, you can either multiply this coefficient with the above term and 2 with the below term. What I mean is, multiply this throughout by 3 and this throughout by 2. This is the easier way. If they are, you can't divide this by any number. But yes, you can divide this by 1.5 and then you will get 2. But it's a bit harder, you know. This is simpler. So I'll just multiply 3 throughout, and it's going to be 6x plus 3y is equal to 24. What about this? I'll multiply 2 throughout. It'll be 6x plus 3y equals 24. Can you see they both are same? That means it's infinite solution here. They both are equal. Whenever you see such, when you solve them and you get the same equation, that means it's literally the same line. It is consistent and it has infinite solution because every point in the line is a solution. So it's infinitely many solutions. We have a real world problem here. Bake sale. Cassandra and Alberto are selling pies for a fundraiser. Cassandra sold 3 small pies and 14 large pies for a total of $203. So now it's about pies. So what about I denote small pies as X and large pies as Y? Here they have given us an equation. 3 small pies plus 14 large pies was equal to 203. But we don't know the cost of each pies. We don't know how much they cost. But we know when you sell 3 small pies and 14 large pies, it is 203. Whereas Alberto sold 11 small pies, 11x, plus 11 large pies, 11y, and he got $220. So these are the two simultaneous equations. So the first option question, write two simultaneous equations, this is it. Now then, we will solve this up. You will get a solution because this is a real world problem. 3, 14, and 203. Next one was 11, 11, and we have 220. Now we can see X value is 7. What does that mean? It means the small pies is 7 and the large pies is 13. Over here, when you solve these up, you will get 7 and over here 13. So the small pie is 7 and large pies are 13. Since it's the electronic part, you do not need to bother to solve in detail. Just use the calculator, that is fine. What does the solution represent? The solution tells us $7 is the cost of the small pies because that was X value, whereas $13 is the cost of large pies. And that's the thing. How can you verify this? See, you got the two simultaneous equations, right? And we got the answers, 7 and 13. So we had got 3x plus 14y equals 203 for the first equation, and 11x plus 11y is equal to 220 for the second. We got x as 7. So instead of this x, you can put 7 plus 14. Instead of y, you can put 13. It must be equal to 203. If you put this in calculator, it should be equal. It will be equal, you know. As long as your answer is correct, it will equate. And over here, it's 11 times 7 plus 11 times 13. That must be equal to 220. You can check this by yourself. They both will be equal. So therefore, we can verify, yes, our answer is correct. We have another real world problem. Ms. Patel invested a total of $825 in 2 stocks. At the time of investment, one share of stock A was valued at $12.41 and a share of stock B was valued at $8.62. She purchased a total of 79 shares. So she has, let's say, they have given you stock A and B. So I'll just take it as A and B. Stock A and stock B total, how many shares? 79. And what is the cost of stock A? It is, 12.41, not 79 again. It's 12.41A plus 8.62B. That is equal to how much? It is equal to 825. So these are the two simultaneous equations we can form. How do we form it is, look at this. When the money is told, money for the stock A, the cost for the stock B, that is equated to the total cost itself. Now we know it's stock A and B that are added up. How many shades are there in total? It's 79. So this is how we write these simultaneous equations. And we can go mode 5 and 1. We'll solve this up. 1, 1 and 79. Then we have 12.41 and 8.62. And then we have 825. So the answer is 38 and 41. So 38 stock, first stock, you can see over here, there were 38 of stock A and 41 of stock B from this money that was purchased. And you can see this is just a telling about which stock, how much is purchased. That's it. Over here, the details are there. Again, these are all the same problems which we did a while ago. Mode 5, 1. Just type it out. 3, minus 2 and 4. Here we have 5, 3 and minus 25. So the answer is minus 2 and minus 5. That's the final answer. Just make sure that the x and y are together and the constants are separate. First, whatever term you use, generally we write x first. So make sure you remember even the second equation, x is first. Then the y's are taken. All these problems are straightforward. Please do solve them by yourselves. And then you can see the answers are over here. Even over here, this is... Now, this is no solution. When you solve it up, you'll get math error. If you have the latest model of calculator, you'll get directly no solution. But otherwise, you'll get a math error. And then here, what we can do, 7 times 3, you can either multiply this by 3 or you can divide this by 3. I'll just multiply by 3. It's easy to multiply. It'll be 21x plus 6y equals minus 3. You can see these are all same, but the coefficients do not match. Constants don't match. Therefore, the coefficients do match, but the constants don't match. There is no solution. And over here, these are the answers. It is negative half and 3 by 2. And over here as well, we have answers of 3 and 5. Please do them by yourselves and then check the answers. It's very simple in the calculator. Last problem, it doesn't matter you should have x and y. We have w and z here. Mode 5, 1, the coefficient 6, minus 8 and 16. Then we have 3, minus 4 and 8. It's infinite solution. Now how do we check that? Here I'll just multiply it by 2. It'll be 6w minus 8z equals 16. It matches exactly with the first equation. So yes, it's the same line or the same equation we are dealing with. So there are infinite solutions. As you can see, it's over here. In this video, we will solve systems of equations in 3 variables. It's from the module 9.8. Here we can solve all these easily in the calculator. If it was manual method, it's just too lengthy. It's simple method, but it just takes a long time. Since it's the electronic part, we'll solve all of them in calculator. Let's take our calculators here. We have to go to more, and we can see these are equations, simultaneous systems of equations, right? 5. Now you can see 3 variables. There's x, y, and z, 3 variables, 3 equations. You can see it's option 2 or 4 because x, y, z is there in, no, it's not x, y, z in the option 4, it's cubic. But option 2 has x, y, and z, so it's only option 2. More, 5, 2. Now here, be careful. There are 3 columns, that's A, B, C, that's the coefficient of x, y, z. But if you go next, there is one more column for the constants. So we need to type them all. There is 2, 3, minus 1, and then 0. Here we have 1, minus 2, minus 4, 14. And lastly, we have 3, 1, minus 8, 17. So these are the coefficients over here and then the constants here, and just press equal to, you get 4, minus 3 and minus 1. This is the answers. So one more important thing to remember. First is x. Make sure all the equations x values are taken first, then the y's, and then the z's. What if we did not have anything, no y at all? It was only 3x minus 8z. That means it was 0 here. Don't put 1. If there is nothing, no number, that is 1. But if there is no term at all, it's only 3x minus 8z, then it will be 0. So make sure you use your calculator. You'll directly get the answers. Very easy and simple, and it's the electronic part. I'll run through all these questions because I will go to the real world problems. But you can see the answers here. So these are the answers. These are the methods. You can pause them and watch it one by one. As you can see, these are the solutions. Similarly, you can solve these. There are plenty over here. This is the solutions. And this one over here, as say now, this has infinite number of solutions. If you put in your calculator also, you'll get it. Otherwise, you can see two of the equations will be same. This one has values, I believe. Yes, this is the solution. Try them by yourself and then check the answers. So I'll quickly move on. This is the answer for fifth one. The answers for sixth is over here. It is again infinite solution. And here we have another solution. It's 5 minus 5 and minus 20. Over here the solution is 0 to 1. I'll just solve this one quickly here because the last equation, you can see it is 0, 0 and p. Let us click on more phi 2. Let's type in the coefficients. It's 2, phi 2, and then the constants is 6. And here we have phi minus 7, but there is no p-value at all. So it's 0 here, minus 29. Then what do we have here? 0, 0, 1 for p. And then over here also it's 1. So the values are minus 3, 2, and 1. So that's the answers. Similarly, just make sure you have the variables aligned, f, g, h, first, second, third. And here it's no solution because it's a false equation. And here as well, you can see it will be 0, 0, minus 2. And all the other equations, they have all the variables. So that'll be the answer here as well. You can see this is the answer. So now we are in the real world problems. It's about animal nutrition. A vegetarian wants, it's a veterinarian wants to make a food mix for guinea pigs that contain 23 grams of protein, to 6.2 grams of fat, and 16 grams of moisture. Now look here, they're all about protein. This entire bar is protein. So what they have told total will be 23 here. This is 6.2 and 16 here. The composition of three available mixtures are over here. We need to solve them up. Now they are told this is mix A. So everything over here is A, A, A. This is B, B, B. And lastly we have C, C, C. That sum must be equal to 23 here and here. So now let's write the simultaneous equations. Don't write it 0.2 plus 0.0. No. Here A doesn't make sense. It should be 0.2A plus 0.1B. Let me write it out. 0.2A plus 0.1B plus 0.15C. That is equal to 23. This is all the proteins. And here we have 0.02A plus 0.06B plus 0.05C. That is equal to 6.2. And lastly, we have 0.15A plus 0.10B and 0.05C. That is equal to 16. Just put this in the calculator, you will get the answers. So we'll see the simultaneous equations. Here we go. These are the equations. They are vertically written. 0.2, 0.1, 0.15 equals 23 and so on. Then we know just putting in the calculator, you will get the answers. So the final answer over here would be, as you can see here, 60 grams of mix A, 50 grams of mix B, and 40 grams of mix C. So whatever the solutions you get from that. Another problem, at arcade, Marcos, Sarah, and Darius played video racing games, pinball, and air hockey. Marcos spent $6 for 6 racing games. So here they have told racing games. I'll just take it as, you can take it as X, Y, Z, A, B, C, or because it's racing games, I'll take it as R, P, hockey, H, because I can easily differentiate it. Marco spends $6 for 6 racing games, 2 pinball games, and 1 game of air hockey. Okay, so $6 on these things. So if I take 6R, that's racing games he played, plus 2 times pinball, plus and 1 hockey, that is equal to 6. What about the next person? The total sum is 12, whereas 3 racing games plus 4 pinballs plus 5 hockey. And Darius, 2 racing games plus 7 pinballs plus 4 hockey, that is equal to 12.25. So these are the simultaneous equations. These are the equations. You just put them in the calculator, you'll get the answer. That's it. So once you get the equation, it's all simple. So here we go. You can see that's how we solve it. And the final solutions would be the racing game was costing $0.5, whereas the pinball was 0.75 and the hockey game was $1.5. And the last problem here, a natural food store makes its own brand of trail mix from dried apples, raisins, and peanuts. I'll just take it as A, R, and P. 1 pound of bag of trail mix cost $3.18. Okay, one bag of the total is 3.18. Now here there's a method to remember. They have told the total bag is 3.18, right? It's related to the cost, money. So what else money is given? Let's just jump over here first and then I'll go to the other problem. If pound of dried apples cost 4.48 is what? Apples plus 2.4 for raisins plus 3.44 for peanuts. That must be equal to 3.18. Then what else? How many ounces of each ingredient? Okay, but before that, we have missed something. It contains twice as much as peanuts by the weight as apples. Okay, this is very important. It contains twice as much peanuts by weight as apples. Now, if you have apples, say over here apples and peanuts, right? They are in some relation. If you have 1 kg of apples, whatever the weight, 1 unit of apples, then the peanut is twice. It'll be 2 times. So here, don't write A is equal to 2P. This is wrong. Many students tend to do that mistake. So how do we write it then? It's not very simple. You should just write this apple and peanuts over here. 1 unit of apple is 2 units of peanuts. So I need to write this equal to, right? So I need to get these numbers same. So what should I do over here to get both numbers same? Either I should divide this by 2, that means peanuts by 2, or I multiply 2 by apple. Multiplying is easier. So I'll just multiply this by 2, it'll be 2 and 2. So don't forget over here also, you do 2. So the equation is 2A equals P. This is the equation which we get. And then you can get that in, so it'll be 2A minus 0R plus P is equal to 0. Okay, that is the second equation. But there's one more, we need 3. This is the same equation I've written over here. But what about third one? We know 1 pound requires apples plus raisins plus peanuts. That will be equal to 1. Because all these 3 things are required to make the trail mix. So these are the 3 simultaneous equations. You can see the first, apple, raisins, peanuts equals 1. And another equation over here, it's given 2A equals P. You need to actually write it like this if you're putting in the calculator. So it's 2A equals P is, as you can see here, 2A plus 0P, 0R. And I've written it wrong here, guys. It's minus P because I'm bringing it inside. It'll be minus P is equal to 0. I'll solve this in the calculator and show you. And lastly, we had the cost, 4.48 and all this, see as we have written. So let me solve this up. I'll remove this because we need to have all the variables one side, constants another side to solve it in the calculator. These are the 3 equations. In order to solve it, mod 5 and 2, let's type in. It's 1, 1, 1 and 1. That was an easy equation. Okay, that is wrong because I have not typed it in. Okay, now here we have 4.48, 2.4, and lastly we have 3.44, and the constant value is 3.18. Another thing is 2, 0, and minus 1, that will be equal to 0. Now what's the answers? It will be 0.1875, 0.4375, and 0.375. So you can see the solutions. We have got in fractions. We can leave it in fractions itself. It is 3 by 16 or decimal. Both are valid answers. For the raisins, we got 7 by 16, absolutely correct. And the peanuts over here is 0.375, as they have shown over, they have written everything over here. In this video, we will learn how to find the average rate of change. It is from the module 1.1. It is actually graphing quadratic equations, as you can see over here, but the actual problems what you're solving is to solve the average rate of change. What exactly do we do? What is rate of change? It's the slope, isn't it? M. So what is the slope formula? If you might remember, it's y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So this is the slope formula. Now, where is y? Where is x? Now you can see the interval is given, specified interval. Now this interval is considered to be x1, x2. The first one is always first interval, second is second interval, x1, x2. Now what about this equation? This is y. F of x means it's y, right? Y is equal to x squared minus 10x plus 5. Now, if you're finding for the first interval, if it's y1, then over here it will be x1, y2 will be y. For example, y2 is here x2 squared minus 10x2 plus 5. All you do is put this in the calculator and solve. In the sense, here first one is minus 4, right? It's going to be minus 4 the whole squared minus 10 times minus 4 the whole, not squared, sorry, it's just this much, plus 5. And here what do we have is 4 squared minus 10 times 4 plus 5. Just put it in the calculator and you will get the values. Those are y2, y1 and y2 values. And then this x2 and x1 is given already, the intervals. So this is it. So let's solve this. It'll be 16 plus 40, 56, 61 here. And here it's going to be 16, 21 minus 40. It's going to be minus 19. So these are the two answers. You just put it in the formula. Y2 is minus 19 minus 61 divided by x2 is 4 minus of minus 4. So let's solve it up. It's going to be 60, 70, 80 divided by this plus 8. Now here it's going to be minus 80 divided by minus is plus 4. And it'll be 8. That is minus 10. So this must be the answer. Here, just put in the calculator. Don't go to do it directly. Put in the calculator and you get the answer. Now, these are the steps, but these steps are not required, but you cannot directly jump to this, okay? There are some shortcuts. If you, anyways, you will not study now, but if you know a little bit about derivatives or calculus, then you know derivatives as basically finding the slope of an equation. So basically, if I find the slope of this equation, provided the interval is given, midpoint, because they have specified an interval from minus 4 to 4. What is the midpoint? It's 0, right? If you find the derivative at the midpoint, then you're going to get this answer itself. Let me show you. One method is this. Another method is, let's take our calculators. Here, if you see there's a symbol, okay, d by dx. If you press shift and this over your integral symbol, you get d by dx. Now just put x squared minus 10x plus 5. And what is the x value? It's the average of these two. Say, for example, it's minus 4 and 4. If you find the midpoint, it's 0. Now, in this topic, all the questions are having 0 at the midpoint. So the answer is minus 10. Now, imagine the midpoints, the intervals were 0 and 4. What then? Then you have to find midpoint of 0 and 4 is 2, isn't it? So let me try it at 2. It should be the answer. It's minus 6. I'll prove this to you. I'll just quickly solve it for 0 and 4 because we have already solved for 4. It'll be minus 19. And what about 0? When we put 0, it's going to be just 5. It'll be minus of 5 divided by 4 minus 0 is 4. So this is going to be minus 24 divided by 4. The answer is negative 6. Yes, absolutely. So this is how we solve it. Now, if it's odd number, you cannot do this. There are modifications, but it's just going to be more complicated. But whenever you will get simple values, simple intervals, so you can just use this method as well. But if not, use the formula y2 minus y1, the slope formula. Just substitute these x values and find the y values, and you can just find the answer. So any way you do it, over here if you put 0, we'll get the actual answer. That's minus 10 in this case. So the answer is minus 10. What about the next problem? I'm going to use the calculator method here. It is 2x squared plus 4x, and we have minus 6 here. What is the interval? Minus 3 to 3. The midpoint will be 0. So the answer is 4. Let's check the answer. Answer is 4. That's the average rate of change, or the slope, or the derivative on average of this interval, because they have total average, so average of this. What about this one? It'll be 3x squared. Now I'll do it from the beginning. If you're wondering how to get it, shift and this symbol, you get d by dx. That's the derivative. 3x squared minus 3x plus 1. And here we go. It is 0 here. That's the answer, minus 3. Similarly, you can try the other problems by yourselves. I'll quickly do this as well. It's just in the calculator. It's plus x, and lastly we have plus 3. And the answer is 1. And what about this one here? It is 2x squared minus 11. Minus 11. And the midpoint over here is also 0. So answer is 0. But the method is also there. You can put this minus 3 in this equation, find the y1. y2 will be putting 3 instead of x, and then using the formula y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Here they have written it as f of x2 minus f of x1 by x2 minus x1. This is basically y2 and y1. It's the same thing. So it's the same formula, not to worry. Even over here, let's try it out. Minus 2x squared plus 8x plus 7. And all we need to do is add the interval 0 because midpoint is 0. And the answer is 8. This method cannot be used when the table is given. The reason being because there's no equation. It's only when you have equation. So how do we solve this one? It's very simple. You need to find at minus 3 and 3, right? Where is x minus 3 here? This is x1. Where is x2? 3. What is y1? Just whatever is corresponding to x1 is y1, and over here it is y2. So the slope is m is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Just substitute the values here. It is 12 minus 0 divided by 3 minus of minus 3. The answer is 12 divided by, it will be 6, that is 2. The rate of change, the average rate of change over here is 2. If I just tell rate of change, it will be at a specific interval. So that is, as of now, we have not studied, but we'll study it in calculus. But average means the average between these two intervals. So what we are doing is average rate of change. Now what about this one here? Same thing. I'm just going to do it directly. But remember, there is no direct shortcut method. You can just put the formula in the calculator directly and solve. Here and here, it is minus 27 minus of minus 27 divided by 4 minus of minus 4. So what's going to happen here? It's going to be minus and minus. It's plus, so it's going to be 0 here. Why? Because you can see minus and minus will be plus 27. Minus 20 cancels off, and anything divided by 0 is 0. It'll be divided 0 by 8, which is 0. And here, this we will have some answer. It'll be y is equal to 9 minus of minus 3. Why minus of minus 3? The formula is y is equal to, not m is equal, sorry, it's m is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, isn't it? Here, that is the reason we have 9 minus of minus 3 divided by, what is x2? It's the second one, 2 minus of minus 2. The answer will be 9 plus 3 divided by 2 plus 2. It is 12 by 4. The answer will be 3. That's the average rate of change. Here we go. Answer is 3. Similarly, try these problems by yourselves and then look at the answers. Here, all you need to do is 1 minus of minus 39 will be 40 divided by 10. It's 4. And here as well, here it's going to be 0. The reason being, it's the same values, right? It'll be 0. The last one, let's do this problem. It is going to be y equals, sorry, again I've written y, it's m equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. It'll be minus 4 minus 12. There's no brackets because it's plus 12. It'll just be minus 12 here. And 2 minus of minus 2. So it'll be minus 16 divided by positive 4. It's minus 4. That should be the average rate of change. And here we go. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder and a humble request. Please do share my channel and my videos with your friends and to whoever that can benefit from it. And I also kindly ask you if you can hit the subscribe button and like my videos, it would mean a lot. In this video, we will learn about quadratic equations and graph them. Here you can see there are quadratic equations and graphs given. The initial problem is just to find its solutions. The solutions is when the graph touches the x-axis, as you can see over here. But look at this first problem. It doesn't touch the x-axis. There's a distance over here. That means there is no possible solutions for this particular graph. There's no solutions. And over here you can see it touches the axis exactly on one point. There is only one solution. But here the second question, it crosses at 2 points, so there are two solutions. We can take our calculators and check this out. To solve quadratic equations, you need to go to mode, phi, and the quadratic equations is given at 3. Put in the coefficients. The coefficient before x squared is 1, then we have 2, and last the constant term is 3. And you can see its imaginary solution. I means no solution. It's imaginary. Therefore, we write no solution when it doesn't touch the x-axis. We can check the next one out. All you need to do is put in 1, minus 3, and minus 10. And over here, we have phi and minus 2. You can see phi is one solution, minus 2 is one more. And what about the last one? We're not getting x1 and x2 here. If we put in minus 1, minus 8, and lastly minus 16, the solution is only x. Minus 4 is the correct answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 4. But only one solution. Can you see that? It's only one x. That means it's touching the axis only at one point. Let's look into other problems. Here now they're asking us to graph these equations. So I will tell you a shortcut method in the calculator. All you need to do is type this equation out. Alpha x squared minus 10 alpha x plus 21. And now look into all the four options. You will have many different options, right? Now choose any x value. I will choose say 0. Okay. When I choose calculate at 0, what do I get? 21. We got the answer as 21. So now you should just see which of this graph touches the y-axis at 21. It's not this one. Why? Because it touches at 1. It's not this one. It touches at the negative quadrant. And over here, this is the possible answer. So you can even test by choosing some other value. I will choose 3. Phi over here, calculate at phi, and I should get this answer, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, minus 4. So this matches, this is the correct answer. To find the solution we just now saw, it is just mode phi 3. And over here we can see it's 3 and 7. That's how easily you can solve them up. Please do these problems by yourselves. They are also very straightforward. Now again the same ones, over here the graphs and the solutions are there. Here you can see there is no solution, no real solution, because it does not touch the x-axis. And what about this type of problems? Use a quadratic equation to find two real numbers with a sum of 2 and a product of minus 24. So that means we have two real numbers. So if I take x and y as two real numbers, when I add them up, it must be equal to 2. So let me write both these numbers in terms of 1. So x and y is two random real numbers. Let me leave x as it is. Y I will write in terms of 2, in terms of x. So I take this x to the other side, will be y is equal to 2 minus x. So I can write one number as x and one more as 2 minus x. Now I know the sum is 2, right? But if I just do over here, substitute over here, it doesn't help me because I'll get back what? The same thing over here. If I just substitute over here and start solving, x cancels, 2 will be equal to 2. This doesn't help. But they have told the product is 24. So what I do is I'll write this first number, multiply it with the second number, and I must get equal to what? Minus 24. So now it will help me to solve. I'll multiply here, it will be 2x, its distributive property, and minus x squared equals minus 24. And now rearrange this, it's minus x squared plus 2x, bring this to the other side, plus 24 is equal to 0. Now you can easily solve it up by using calculator. Let's go to mode 5 and 3 and now type the coefficients. It's minus 1 and then we have positive 2 and lastly we have 24 and the answers are 6 and minus 4. So those are the solutions, 6 and minus 4, which we got as well. And this is the equation which we got. Now here you can just take this to the other side as well or change the signs, because this side will be 0 equals x squared minus 2x plus minus 24, sorry. So this is equivalent, that's no problem. Even if you put this or this equation, you will get the same answers. So you can try that out. Now we have one more problem similar to just now's problem. We have two real numbers. So what I'll write is one is x. One more will be, the sum is minus 15. So I can directly write minus 15 minus x. Or you can write it as x plus y is equal to minus 15. So x is equal to minus 15 minus y is equal to minus 15 minus x. And now when I multiply them, the product means multiplication. X times minus 15 minus x will be equal to minus 54. So it'll be minus 15x minus x squared equals negative 54. And you can rearrange this. We'll take all these terms to the other side. 0 equals x squared plus 15x minus 54. Put them in the calculator. Once you're in this mode, if you press on, you'll come back to the same mode. It's 1, it's plus 15, and lastly we have minus 54. The answers are 3 and minus 18. So 3 and minus 18 is the answer. So that's how we solve these problems. And now here we need to find the exact roots. You can use the quadratic formula, but the best and the easy method is the calculator, because it's question number 12. You'll have 4 options. Easily solve them up. Mode 5 and 3. The coefficients of this question number 16 is 1, 6, and lastly we have again another 6. The answer is minus 3 plus root 3. You can see here. Okay, I will tell you, that's the exact answer. Let me just show you over here. Now, where does this lie? Because when you graph, you cannot exactly get the point. It'll be somewhere in between. So what we tend to do is, if we do not have the calculator, we can just tell this particular solution is lying between minus 1 and minus 2. Say it's between minus 2 and minus 1. That's what we say. And the next one is in between minus 5 to minus 4. We tell the range. We don't tell the exact value. We know it's over here now, this point. It is from 0 to 1. That's what we say. 3 to 4. But since you have the calculator, you can even find the exact value easily. So that's the thing. You can easily use the equation in the calculator and graph it up. You can select the correct graph and easily tell the answers as well, the solution. Now, if it is exactly on the point, you can directly tell it's minus 6 and 6 here as well. But otherwise, if it's in between, you can just tell a range of 0 to 1. Based on the options, select the correct answer. Now, even over here, look at the options and then select the correct answers. In this video, we will solve problems related to complex numbers. we can see there's a complex number. What is a complex number? Whenever a number has a real part and an imaginary part that should be added up. It can't be multiplied. This is a imaginary part only. These are imaginary numbers, but this is a real part. It can be 2, 3, 4, anything. Then it's a complex number because this is real part and this is the imaginary part. What about this one? Here you need to look carefully and relate or equate only the real parts together and the complex parts separately. So it is 9 equals 3x, and then what do we have? 12i equals 4yi. You can ignore this because it's the imaginary part we're dealing with, or it just cancels off. Divide both the sides by 4, you're gonna get 3 equals y. What about this one? Divide both the sides by 3, you're gonna get 3 equals x. So x value is 3 and y is 3. That'll make this equation true. That is what they're asking for. Here we go, 3 and 3. What about this one? Same thing, x plus 1. See, whichever is I is only the imaginary part. Don't forget the negative sign. This is very important, all the signs as well. Whatever remaining is just the real part. Sorry. X plus 1 equals 3, so x is 4. Very straightforward. What about this? 2yi equals minus 6i. Ignore the I and I. It'll be y is equal to minus 3 because both the sides are divided by 2. So answer is 3, and over here, my bad. What happened? 1 to the other side becomes minus 1. It should be 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 and minus 3. Don't do the silly mistake which I did. Or you can just put this equation in the calculator. You'll get the answer as well. It's 2 and minus 3. Here now, it is 2x plus 7 equals minus 4. So let us solve this up. It will be 2x is equal to minus 11. X is equal to minus 11 by 2 of 5.5. That is the first answer. What about the next one? It is 3 minus y, the whole of I, that is equal to 6i. I is gone. It is 3 minus y is equal to 6. Let's take y to the other side. We minus is equal to y. That is minus 3 is the final answer. So this is the thing. It's minus 3. Minus 3 and minus 11 by 2 is 5.5. That's same thing. Just be aware. All these problems are similar. Please do them by yourselves. Just equate the real part, that is 5 plus y equals 9. And over here it's 3x minus 7 equals minus 3. And then you get the answers. Remember here the x is with the imaginary part and y is with the real part. Here as well, 20 is equal to 5x, minus 12 is equal to 4y. That's it. And same thing over here. They're pretty straightforward. Here x is directly equals to 3 because there's nothing to solve. Whereas the other one, you ought to just solve it a little bit. How do we solve these? Now these are simple as well. 6 plus 4 is 10 plus, see now it's 1i minus 5i, it'll be minus 4i. You can also check your answers when it's complex numbers easily using your calculator. Not the previous type of problems, the simplification can be done. Let me show you now. If you go to mode, you can see complex, CMPLX, that's complex mode. Let's press 2. Now you can see the complex mode toggles up over here. What does it do? Can you see anywhere there's an I? If you look over here, I is there. Now if I just click on it, when it's complex mode, when I just click on it, it comes up. But if I'm in computation mode, if I press ENG, it doesn't work. It's shift and alpha and ENG, it doesn't work. Why? Because it should be in complex mode. But when you're in complex mode, just press ENG, that's imaginary number I. How do you do this? Open the bracket, 6 plus I, close the bracket, plus, open the bracket, 4 minus 5i, close the bracket. You don't even need to press shift or anything, you directly get the answer. Directly you can press the I, and that's the answer, 10 minus 4i. What about this one? It's the same thing. Open the bracket, 8 plus 3i, that's by ENG, close the bracket, minus, open the bracket, 6 minus 2 ENG for I. The answer is 2 plus 5i. That's it. All these problems can be done similarly. They are pretty simple. You can even do it manually, whichever suits you. Let me do the last one here. Open the bracket. Minus 11 plus 4i. Close the bracket. Minus, open the bracket, 1 minus 5i. Close the bracket. And here we go. It's minus 12 plus 9i. What about multiplication? This is again still more easy using this calculator. All you need to do is type whatever is there. 2 plus I, close the bracket, multiply it by open bracket, 3 minus I, close the bracket. You get the answer 7 plus I. Even if you press multiplication, it's the same thing. You do not need to go and write multiplication or division. Just keep it like this. That's more than enough. What about this problem here? It'll be 5 minus 2i, close the bracket, open the bracket, 4 minus I, close the bracket. The answer must be 18 minus 13i. So all these problems are so easily solved in this method. 4 minus 2i by for ENG, and open the bracket, it's 1 minus 2i, close the bracket. Just make sure you're properly closing and opening the brackets. It'll be all right. Now, what about this problem, a real world problem? Using the formula V is equal to Ci, find the voltage V in a circuit when the current is equal to 3 minus J amps. J is the imaginary part here. Impedance or the resistance is I equals 3 plus 2J ohms. We have the formula V is equal to Ci. Voltage is required to be found out. What is C? 3 minus J, that is the imaginary part. Let's consider it to be I, multiplied by I, that is 2J. This is it. Now we'll use the calculator and we can solve it up. Let me do it from the beginning. If you're in the computation mode or if you clear your calculator off, ENG doesn't give you I. You need to first click the mode and second option for complex. Open the brackets, 3 minus ENG, close the bracket. Open the bracket again, 3 plus 2I, close the bracket. The answer is 11 plus 3I. That's it. But when you're writing in the answer, it should be J. Not writing the answer, sorry, you're selecting the answer. J is the imaginary part here. So choose whichever as J, not I, because in the question it's given as G. The divisions are also so simple here. All you need to do is 5 divided by 3 plus I. And there we go. That'll be the answer. You don't even need to do it. And it's in the electronic part. So you don't need to solve it manually. But otherwise, you have to use the conjugate method. Just use the denominator, but with opposite sign. 3 minus I minus I. And over here, we can use a square minus b squared rule. And we can simplify it. What about these problems? Same way. Use a fraction. 7 minus 13i divided by 2i. And that will be the solution. It's minus 13 by 2 minus 7 by 2i. Let's clear the calculator and do the last problem from the beginning. You cannot use imaginary number without the complex mode. Press mode and complex option number 2. Now it's in complex mode. When you press ENG, the I shows up. Let's clear it off. Now let's use this fraction. 6 minus 5i, that is ENG symbol, 3i. And you just press equal to, here is your answer, minus 5 by 3 minus 2i. That's it. In this question, we will solve quadratic equations by factoring. Here you can see there's x squared equals 64. X squared, it's a quadratic equation because it's raised to the power 2. All these problems can be solved and calculated directly. All you need to remember is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the standard form of quadratic equations. That means whatever is x squared must be first, and then there is no x term, so it's 0x because there's no x term at all over here, and get the 64 to the other side, minus 64, the constant term, is equal to 0. You just use your calculator now to solve this up. In your calculator, click on mode, 5 for equations and 3 for quadratic equation. Now type in the coefficient. What is the coefficient of x squared? It's 1, 0, there's nothing x, and minus 64. Here we go. The answer is 8 and minus 8. That's plus or minus 8. There are two solutions. What about this one? You can just take the square root of 100. It will be plus or minus 10, but still we'll do it in the calculator here. All you need to do is, it's 1, 0, there is no x term, and minus 100. So this is the answer. Sorry, this is the answer, 10 and minus 10. Here we go. This one as well, it's the same thing. It's 1, 0, and when you bring it to the other side, it'll be minus 289. So the answer is 17 plus or minus. Two solutions. What about this problem here? Look, you're bringing this inside, so it's x squared, that's fine. 1, there is no x term, 0. It'll be 14 minus 50 because you have to get 50 to the other side altogether, right? It's going to be 14 minus 50. You can directly write it, or you can write it over here and solve it up. See, over here, you can write it as 14 minus 50 as minus 36, and then put it in the calculator as well, or directly put it in the calculator. The answer is minus and plus 6. Here as well, all we need to do is 1, 0, and then we have minus, only 1 minus 169. The answer is 13 and minus 13. What about this problem? Again, it's similar like what we did a while ago. 1, there's no x term, so it's 0. It is 3 minus 124, be 121, that's 11, plus or minus 11. Now we have three terms, all the three terms. So again, how do we go to quadratic equations? Mode, phi, and 3 for quadratics. Mode, phi, 3. What is the coefficient of x squared? It's 4. Minus 28 is the coefficient of x, and 49. Here we go. The answer is 7 by 2. Only, see, there's only one answer. There's only x. So here we have a single answer, that's 7 by 2. Let's try this problem. You will see if there are two solutions, x1 and x2 will appear. 9, 6, and when it goes inside, it will be plus 1. Now look here, it's again a single answer only because there's only x, it's minus 1 by 3, 1/3. Let's look at this one. 16 minus 24, 13 minus 4, because we're taking 4 inside. It is again a single answer. It's only 3/4, only one solution. But let me just show you how it'll be for two solutions. Let me just take 2, 0, and 81. It's going to be plus or minus, so it's minus 81. Here you can see there is x1 9, x2 minus 9. There'll be two solutions. Now let us solve this one. 81, 36, and plus 4, because when 4 goes inside, it's plus. It's only one solution here, so you can only see x. There's no x1 or x2. It's minus 2 by 9. What about these problems? Just the same thing. You can directly solve it in calculator. All of you try it by yourselves. Okay, these are just the same. There's nothing different here. You get it directly from the calculator here as well. Now let me try a few of the imaginary problems. Let's take a calculator. It's mode, phi, and 3. Here the coefficient of x squared is 1. There is no coefficient of x, so it's 0. And then it is 12. When we bring this inside, it's going to be plus 3. It's not minus, plus 13, not minus 13. I should write plus over here. That's 25. Look at this. It's phi I minus phi I. You can directly get it in the calculator. It's plus or minus phi I, imaginary roots. Same thing here. It'll be 1, 0. Sorry, this is the same problem just we did. 0. And the last one is 100, positive 100. And here we go. It's 10 and minus 10 I. What about this one here? 1, 0, and 225. The answer will be 15 plus or minus 15 I. Same thing here. We'll have plus or minus 2I. Because it's 2, square root of 4 is 2, imaginary number because it's negative. It'll be, when you solve it, you also can solve it like this. There's another way. X squared is equal to minus 4. Take the square root on both the sides, it'll be square root of minus 4, right? That's plus or minus 2i because there is minus I remaining. So that's also easily solvable. Here, let's try this out. 36. There is no x term, it's 0, and then 25 will be imaginary numbers, but it'll be 5 by 6 minus 5 by 6. And here we have the last problem. Mod phi 3 for quadratic equation, 64, 0. There's no x term, minus 49 because the constant term is minus 4. It's not minus 49, my bad. What did I do wrong? When we take it inside the equal to, because all the terms must be at one side and the one more side must be equated to 0, it'll be positive 49. The answer is 7 by 8 minus 7 by 8i, imaginary numbers. And that is the end of all the electronic part questions. I hope you have found these videos helpful. And if you can do a huge favor to me, that is by sharing these videos with your friends who also can benefit from it. All the advanced grade videos, EoTs, and lesson explanations are available. Please do share it for those who can benefit. And also, if you could subscribe to my channel or like these videos, it would mean a lot to me. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I wish you all the best for the exam.